Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of our Houston Texans franchise here on Madden 21. And we will be playing the Minnesota Vikings at home in Houston today. But first things first, I know we discussed having to make a couple big trades. I put J.J. Watt, Will Fuller, and Kenny Stills on the trade block. And this is what I've gotten back as far as offers for J.J. Watt, 98 overall. The Bears are saying a third, sixth, and seventh. But for third and seventh for 2 rounds from drafts from now, Washington's offering a third. Philly's offering us a second in 2022. And the Browns are offering us a third as well. That is not what we are looking for or what we are needing. I think I can do a manual trade and get something a little bit better for him. And we also got Will Fuller, an offer for him. Now that gives us a second in the 22 draft and a seventh in the 21. Titans are offering a third, five in the 21, and a seven in the 22. Seahawks a second in the 22, a five in the 25, and seven in the 21. And Washington is offering us a third round. Baltimore is willing to give us 68 overall defensive tackle, along with a third and fifth in the 22. Packers third, fourth, seventh. Lions fourth, fifth, seventh. Jacksonville third, sixth. Chargers third, sixth. Arizona fourth, fifth. Browns third. Denver 4, 6, 7. And Bears 3, 6, 7. So we're going to go ahead and go into the manual trade market to see. I'm going to see what I can get, if I can get something better for Stills, while keeping Fuller, because he's had a couple really good games. I know Stills has had some pretty good games as well, but it's still one of those things that I say let's just wait and see. Let's see what I can get. He is our number 3 receiver, so if we can get something good for him, you got to figure why not go for it. First things first, what I'm really needing is draft picks, not so much players. I'll make do with what I have. I might try to see if I can't get a defensive tackle out of him. Let's just see. First round. Not too much wiggle room on that. So if I add in, let me just add in a fourth round and a sixth round pick. Let's just see. It's definitely better, but it's not something they're worth. Moving on. So let's move on to a different team. It has them lit up in green, and we may not get much. May have to see what I can get from Fuller. Eagles, he's high interest. Let's see, what do they have as terms? Ooh, 30th pick in round 1. That's not really what I'm looking for. I know it's just a projected, but still, that puts them way over the cap room. So let me see if I can get a first, and let me look at their defensive tackles. Who do they have? Javon Kidlaw, DJ Jones. Let me just do that. And then for me, I will give up an additional fourth round. And then let's go with one of our 6th-round picks. Let's just see how that works out. Fingers crossed, although they're number 26, but I do need something in the first round. I just got to have it. That puts, they're still way over the cap limit. Let me check. See, their defensive tackles are all cheap. Who do they have at DB? Oh, not still. Doesn't really put them within that level. Doesn't look like that's going to work for them, and I'm pretty sure it's going to say if accepted, so that's just not going to cut it. All right, a couple more before we, oop. No, that's the Jets. I'm not giving him, trying to not give him to an AFC team. That's the Patriots. They're AFC. I don't want to run into them again. Ravens. Washington. They still have a ton of space. Let me go with first round. Let me go back and give up my fourth and my 6th. And let's just see. Let's just put it through. They accepted it. Holy crap. Okay, I'll take it. First round pick. Kenny Stills, you're out of here. All right, one more thing to look at. Mr. J.J. Watt. Let me see what I can get for him. Definitely not Washington again. Seahawks. Not the Titans. Not the Vikings. We're about to play them, for God's sakes. No, the Bears don't need them. Bengals, no. Let's see. Browns, Bucks, Cardinals. Chiefs. Not giving them to the Colts. See, there was a team. I've already done a little bit of research. There's a team that was needing a left end. The Panthers. That's who it was. Let me see if I can get a first round pick. I just want to see what this is. I'm going to go ahead and add in a third. Actually, this is one thing I found in Madden. If you do the same year, they tend to really hate that. So I'm going to go with the second round pick in the next year's draft. Let's just see. Way off. Okay. Let me just check draft picks. Let's go with second round pick for us. Man, it's a risk because he is one of our best guys. You know what? Let me see. Who do they have at defensive tackle? That's what I need to see. They got short. I don't want that. 79 overall. He'd be the best one that we have. Let me go a second. Oh. And yeah, come back down here to a third. And let me try to get. Let me just put the first round pick. If I can get a. Let's see how they like this one. And definitely don't like it. Alright, so let me just try the second. Because we don't have a second round pick either. Really, they love their defensive tackle that much. Well then. Looks like we'll probably be keeping Watt then. Okay. So we did get rid of Stills. So I'm going to go ahead and decline these offers. For him. If something pops up in the later weeks, I'm going to keep them on there just in case we can see what happens with them, and then we'll kind of move from there. So we do have Will Fuller up for contract negotiation, as well as Garyon Conley, both young guys, 25 and 26 respectively. Fuller's already 83, Conley's at 77. So let me go ahead and I'll sign. And I'm going to sign Fuller. I mean, he's going to be integral to us for the remainder. 4 years, keeps him till he's 30. I'm going to go 5. I normally like to just bump these up a little bit. You know, once you do the 5 years, it kind of spreads the cap out over long enough that it makes them more likely to accept it. But let's just see. And offer's perfect. Can't wait. See what I mean? And we got a lot of guys to re-sign, and a lot of them we're not going to. So we got to accept that fact pretty quick. AJ McCarron, sorry, no heavy. Vander does, sorry, no heavy. Dylan Cole, 72, 26. I don't know how much more we can do that it's really worth that kind of money. And let's see, who else? Scarlett, he's 27, and he's 73 overall. So he's right in that mid-range where he may be a little too old, in 2 years at 346. I just don't know if I'm willing to pay him that much. Hargraves, he's 25, he's young. So we should be able to. I'll probably end up signing him because he is so young and he's a 75, so he's got room for development, even though he is just regular. And Zach Cunningham, he's 75 overall, but he's also only 25. So that's where we're at. I'm going to wait to sign these two guys. Maybe, hopefully, we get a development upgrade for Gary and Conley to make him from regular to star development or something like that throughout the season. But most likely, we're definitely probably going to be re-signing him as well. I just need to see how our cap space ends up working out, kind of going forward from here. And so now taking a look at scouting. I don't really need a quarterback because we have our quarterback. I might get one in the later rounds just for the hell of it to have someone as far as backups go. But some things, one position we are in major need for is our defensive tackle. So A- pursuit, B+ tackle, B+ play recognition. Out of TCU, Donovan Watts from Notre Dame. He's a B+, 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 still projected as a first-round pick. Juan Booth, B+, B+, B, drops him all the way down to 4th round. I don't know, but I'll keep a watch in case maybe we can claim him. And Dave Hatcher comes in as a 2nd round with power moves, A-, tackle, B+, pursuit, B+. And going forward, defensive tackle from Alabama at A-, B, and B for some reason puts him in the 1st round. I think it's just that Alabama type of thing. Alfonso Pierman, 2nd round from Georgia. So obviously because he has all these B-, that obviously puts him in at the 2nd round. Darren Jones. B's pretty much across the board, but since he's from East Carolina, he's a 5th round pick. I'm going to keep him on my board. I always like to add people on the board as long as they have a round that they're projected to be in. Just because you never know. Maybe someone drops, maybe they don't, but it's always worth keeping a watch on. Dalton Cooper from Virginia, completely off with a B+ pursuit, B tackle, and C+ hit power. And that leaves us with 10 points, so nothing else we can do as far as scouting goes. So, all right. So that will get us ready to go for our game today against the Minnesota Vikings. And we are going to head towards kickoff. And away we go as we kick it off to the Minnesota Vikings to start this game. And we are going to be needing a good performance. They have Kirk Cousins at quarterback. They have Dalvin Cook as their running back. And Adam Thielen is a receiver. Oh, that's right. They traded away the other guy to Buffalo. So he will be their main passing target generally. But you can't forget about Kyle Rudolph in their tight end spot. So we do have our hands full this afternoon. And we contained Cook early on that first run play of his, stop him only for 2 yards. So that is a positive sign for us. But we need to make sure that we kind of keep this effort up, and we have to start getting some pressure on Kirk Cousins. And we rush him, and he just gets the pass away, and it falls incomplete. Merciless coming off the edge quickly and disrupting that pass play. All right, so now we have him at a 3rd and 8. Our chance to get the first stop of the game is coming up right now. And we get around him, but he gets the pass off to Rudolph, who does end up picking up the first down. And now just a little bit later in the drive, we have him at a 3rd and 9. And we are going to be bringing some more pressure off the edge with Merciless. We're not able to get around him, but he dumps it off to Cook, and we end up making the tackle. Thankfully, stopping him before he can get the first down, bringing up a 4th and 2, forcing them to punt the ball away to us. And so on the ensuing drive, we take over at our 17-yard line after he punts it out of bounds. And we get the ball over to Randall Cobb, who's taken in for Kenny Stills, since we were able to get him traded away and get a really good draft pick, a 1st-round pick for him in that trade deal. And so Cobb may have to become a focal point.
And we run it up with Duke Johnson Jr., DJ. And he will get the first down to the 30-yard line, bringing us to a 1st and 10. And we need this running game. We haven't really had much of a rushing game all season, so this may be our breakout performance. That's what we're going to be hoping for today. Spreading them out, keep it going, keep hammering them, running that clock down, keeping a tight watch on what we have happening. And after a little 4-yard gain, that brings us to a 2nd and 6. And we are going to be out of the pistol formation, going to be dropping this one off as we hit Brandon Cooks coming across the middle at the 50-yard line, taking a hard hit from Smith, thankfully not fumbling, as Watson is now 2 for 2 for 20 yards on the day. First 2 passes, first 2 completions. And that will give us another 1st and 10. And we will keep on trucking. Just under 10 minutes to go in this first quarter. We hand it off to DJ, and he runs for a good about 9 yards. We are getting some movement on that defensive line. We are starting to push them around. I know it's early, but it's a positive sign that we are needing to see for our team. And so with a 2nd and 1 from the 41-yard line, and we are back in the shotgun formation. And we are joined right now by one of the sons for Champion Sons.
Hi!
As he's excited to be part of us. And we throw it down deep into the end zone looking for Cooks. But we get a pass interference play. And that brings us to the 1-yard line. We are now at a 2nd and goal. Handed off to Johnson right up the middle for the touchdown and the 7-0 lead. And on the ensuing drive, Minnesota with the 1st and 10 from the 25. And we almost get the interception on that. It just seems like for some reason we just never have that last little touch ability to make those picks. However, for some, Peter on All Madden seems to make the picks quite easily. Some pretty amazing ones too, but not for us, not today. All right, so they take over with a 2nd and 10. And they throw it to Rudolph. He's going to end up making the catch, but not quite for a first down. That brings him to a 3rd and 2 from the 33-yard line. We are keeping the momentum going. We are tackling them, and we are stopping them. We are making it a fight for them if they want to get that first down. And so now for a 3rd and 2. And they hand it off to Cook, who's going to make it and reach it out for the first down. We thought we had him stuffed. And Cook said, nay, not today. And that will bring up their 1st and 10 play from the 35-yard line. J.J. Watt, we need to get him involved, get him some more sacks. He's been a beast for us these last 2 games. And we start bringing up some pressure up the middle, and they dump it off, and we hit him hard, and he's going to fumble. And J.J. Watt makes the recovery. We are going to take over at the 34-yard line. As we will now have a 1st and 10 in prime position to extend our lead. This could be one of the bigger leads that we've had in the first quarter of any game this season. We hand it off to Johnson. He gets a big rush for just under 10 yards. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 from the 25. We're almost in the red zone, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your britches.
Come on, Texans. You can do this.
And we have ourselves in the shotgun formation. 4 wide with a running back in the back to help us block. And we throw the pass, and it's going to be intercepted by Minnesota.
That's an oof.
And he's going to run it back, and as my son said, that is an oof. So that will now give Minnesota the ball back again on the 26-yard line. They will now have a 1st and 10. Momentum is starting to turn their way. We had built it up with that touchdown, but they've taken over. And Cook takes a run to the left, and he's going to get a big gain as we are able to bring him down, but not till the 49-yard line. Dalvin Cook moving the ball. And they now have a 1st and goal after a pass to Thielen here later on in this drive. And so from the 1st and goal, they hand it to their running back. I don't know who that guy is. He's not on my team, of course. And we are able to get the stop in the backfield. Roby, or no, that was Reed, excuse me. Reed with the big stop behind the line, knocking them back, making that 1st and goal from about the 5 to 1st and goal from the 6. We hit them way further back than that. They shouldn't be at the 6. They should be at like the 8 or 9. Whatever. It's Madden. Can't always expect it. So now 2nd and goal from the 6, and they're going to hand it off again. And we do end up stopping them down at the 2-yard line after they get a pretty decent run. But we are able to make the tackle. So now for a 3rd and goal. We are having to man up on this one. Time to separate the men from the boys. 3rd and goal from the 2. Ahead by 7. We get the pressure up the middle. We dive and miss, but we bring enough pressure that he throws it out of bounds, forcing them to kick a field goal as we maintain our lead now at 7-3. And on the ensuing kickoff, we will take it back to the 23-yard line. And here we go. 1st and 10. Ahead by 4. Just over a minute to go in the 1st quarter. Watson takes the ball and hands it off to Johnson, who gets swapped hard. And now Howard, one of our starting tackles, is out. That's not any good. That's going to be rough for our passing game, especially with our running backs getting hammered like that. I can't expect them to last for the rest of the game if our tackles are already going out. This is really gosh dang ridiculous, I tell you what. And so on a 2nd and 7, Watson takes the ball and he throws it, and it's going to get intercepted again. Oh my goodness. 2 straight throws, 2 interceptions, 2 complete misreads on my part. And now on the Vikings' ensuing drive, we do have them at a 3rd and 8, but Cousins drops back and we are able to get the stop. Nice tackle by Roby. Sharp was able to end up catching that on the slant, but we do stop them. They do kick a field goal. And we do maintain our lead, which is now 7-6. So on the ensuing drive, we will run the ball for just 1 yard, and that will take us to the end of this 1st quarter. A 7-6 lead for us here at home in Houston against the Vikings. And so now we have a 2nd and 9. This is where we kind of tend to mess up every now and then in these pressure moments. Can we overcome? And we toss it out to our tight end. This is our 3rd string tight end, by the way, everybody. So say hi to Thomas for us, will you? And he does make the catch for 3 yards, which brings us to 3rd and 6 on this drive. The last 2 possessions have been interceptions. So this one, I think, even if we don't catch this, but we try to get it to Cobb, who's going to have the ball knocked away from him. But we didn't turn it over, and that's okay. And on the Vikings' ensuing drive, we have them at a 3rd and 9, and they throw it deep, and we're just not able to get that step to make the interception. So we did stop them, but they now have the lead. We have given up our lead in 3 straight drives by giving up 3 turnovers, and we're dropping the ball. We're not able to catch it. Cobb dropped it just because someone was near him. Now Johnson's dropping stuff because somebody gets a little bit near him whenever we're trying to catch the ball. So getting a little ridiculous. So now it's time for Watson to take it over as I run through the line down the left side for the big 1st down. A 15-yard rush for number 4, Deshaun Watson. And that will bring us to a 3rd and 2 on this drive from about the 48-49-yard line. As we hit Cobb coming across on the left, and he's going to be speedster. He's breaking it down the left side of the field. And he gets tackled down at the 14-yard line as we are now in the red zone. And a little bit later in the drive with a 2nd and goal from the 4. We drop back to throw it. We scramble left. We throw it across our body, but Brandon Cook saves us. He's going to catch it for the touchdown. Touchdown, Houston. Touchdown, Cooks. We now have the lead, 14-9. And that is something that we need to capitalize on. We have all the momentum in the world at this point. But we don't capitalize on it. Instead, we let Rudolph run right up the middle to make a big play to go from the 25 to the 46. Not even coming close to stopping him. And a little bit later in the drive for Minnesota, we have them at a 3rd and inches from the 2, and they will hand it. Play action, throw it to the left because we can't get any pressure on them. And once again, Rudolph with the big play will catch the touchdown, giving them the lead 16-14 at halftime. We are playing decent, just not decent enough. As they have the 2 takeaways, we have 1, but they have 165 passing yards and 71 rushing yards on the afternoon. So minus the turnovers, we'd have a pretty decent lead. So now for scores from around the league, the Pittsburgh Steelers are leading in Tennessee 14-10. Roethlisberger with a touchdown and an interception, and Tannehill has 1 touchdown. Now going to the Windy City of Chicago. Phillip Rivers is leading with the Colts 14-0 on the day with only 1 touchdown and 128 yards. And our final game that we're going to check in on is the Jaguars at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are leading that game 20-14 as they have 2 touchdowns for Burrow. So now we come to the second half and we drop another kickoff return. We drop another one. I do pull him out. Rawson is done with kickoff returns. That's his 3rd fumbled one. I'm not letting him do that anymore. We put Kiki QT in to be our new kickoff returner. And Brandon Cooks on the slant for 10 yards will get us down to a 2nd and 10. And some of those lineup changes, I'm going to do them off screen. You're not always going to see it. Formation audibles, things like that. All that stuff I'm generally going to do off screen. I might let you watch some of it, but it's just one of those things that's just how I prefer to do it. So, all right, a little bit later in our drive, we have a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. And we're going to roll it out to the right. And we're going to go ahead and toss it down deep to Randall Cobb, who got wide open as they just forgot about him. And we go down to the 26-yard line on a big play. What a throw. What a play by Cobb with a 35-yard reception. And now we find ourselves with a 1st and goal. 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. First drive of the second half. Trying to capitalize. We're going to run it white with Watson. And we throw it into the corner, and Cobb makes a spectacular catch for the touchdown. Oh my goodness. Tiptoeing it into that back corner. That will give us the lead once again, as we will have a 21-16 lead. Now, a little bit later on in the 3rd, after Minnesota punts the ball away to us, we throw a screen pass on a 3rd and 11, and we just cannot get any blocking. Not one bit of blocking whatsoever, and so we will have to attempt a field goal. This one will just be with 35 yards, give or take. And we are going to end up drilling this one right down the middle. Fairbairn, perfect kick, giving us 24-16 lead. We now find ourselves in the 4th quarter, still leading 24-16, but Minnesota is driving. They are trying to put the pressure on. They've started switching up, calling audibles about at least 1 or 2 every play, trying to get us confused. And they end up throwing the pass, and it gets caught down low, and he takes it to the 3, but he's going to fumble. He's going to get walloped hard on that one, and Hargraves picks up the ball at the 3-yard line, and we will take it over from there. Now, a little later on our drive, we have a 3rd and 3. We find Fuller finally as he gets the ball down to about the 9-yard line. That was his 1st or 2nd catch on the day for Fuller, but it was a big one for us. That brings us to a 1st and goal from the 9. And we're going to have to try to, I want to run clock, but at the same time, I can't do something stupid passing the ball. And we do need points, because I think we've all seen how it turns out if I don't get points. And we throw it to Cooks in the middle of a zone, and he catches it for the touchdown, as we will now lead 31-16. And coming up here at the end, about 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, the Vikings have the ball, and they're trying to come back, and they will throw it for the touchdown, bringing the score 23-30. But that won't be enough, and that is how this game will end. Zimmer is fired up. Watt looks tired. Jefferson had some big plays for Minnesota, just couldn't quite pull it up. Brandon Cooks coming through big time for us with 2 touchdowns on the day. And that will be it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We had 246 to their 341 and 168 to their 98. And 3 turnovers, mostly fumbles on all those big hits we had. What a game. What a game.
And what a great game that was. Getting our 2nd win of the season. And we've got some upgrades. Well earned, I would definitely say. So Deshaun Watson, he's an 86 overall. He got 1 skill point. We are going to add him to improviser, even though scramble was the fit. I still prefer improviser for him because look at that. It upgrades 1 for his awareness, his throw accuracy deep, his throw accuracy middle, and under pressure. And that just seems like the best move to go with it. And now for our kicker, Kaimi Fairbairn. Power or accuracy? He's got about as much power as I really want for right now. I'm just going to go with accuracy. He can make the 45 and the 50 yards. I think last game it was a 55 yard or something like that we made. So he's got the distance. That's not a worry for me. Jacob Martin got some playing time today, speed rusher, just because that's the highest rated, and I need to try to get some of these guys ranked up some. But it did give him +2 awareness, +1 on his finesse moves, and +1 tackle. Left tackle, Charlie Heck. I guess he's someone that got just automatic upgrades or something. I don't know, practice maybe. The simulated practice possible? I don't know. Yeah, +2 block, pass block finesse, +1 run block, and +1 run block finesse. Not too shabby. Alright, so here we go. Taking it into next week. 2-2. We'll be at home again. Ooh, who's our one injury? Oh, that's right. Our running back, Johnson. Torn bicep, out for 6 weeks. All right, I'll probably end up having to pull someone out of. Maybe look at bringing up someone from the practice squad. I'm not exactly sure. I gotta check our depth chart and our roster, who we got to fill in for that. But I'll definitely be doing that on the next episode. So, next episode we're also gonna have a breakout player. It looks like Fuller, if I'm not mistaken. So be sure to join us for that. And I do want to thank y'all for watching today. And so remember to like and subscribe. And as always, everybody, stay safe and later, y'all.